Israel is pressing ahead with its campaign to clamp down on Palestinians on pretext of maintaining security in the occupied Palestinian territories. Israeli media says the army is considering taking control of Palestinian areas in East Jerusalem, al-Quds, where Tel Aviv claims there has been a rise in the number of attacks against Israeli soldiers. The areas include impoverished neighborhoods of Shoafat and Kafr Aqab. The surge in the crackdown undermines efforts to promote talks between Israel and the Palestinian Authority. The repressive measures by Israel have led to speculations that Israel is doing this deliberately to achieve its strategic goals.
Israel pretends to talk peace, but they really are just constantly expanding their settlements, slow motion cleansing of the Palestinians from Jerusalem and other areas, and basically trying to make life terrible for the Palestinians so that they would want to leave and abandon the land to the Israelis, the Zionists.
Palestinian leaders are pressuring President Mahmoud Abbas to withdraw recognition of the Israeli regime and end security cooperation with Tel Aviv.
There's been almost no real progress on the peace negotiations, and whenever there's an agreement, then the Israelis change the goalposts and start making additional demands, and their position is clearly to have a set of demands that are basically unacceptable, either not only to the Palestinian leadership, but the Palestinian population. For example, Netanyahu started to try to demand that the Palestinians recognize Israel as a Jewish state, which of course would negate any rights or even the presence of Christian and Muslim and other Palestinians in Israel or the West Bank.
The Palestine Liberation Organization's Central Council has said the PLO should no longer be bound by the 1993 Oslo peace accords, and that its leaders will never recognize Israel. This according to a statement released following a conference in the West Bank city of Ramallah. The PLO's Cultural Council said in a statement, quote, "The immediate goal is the independence of the state of Palestine, which requires moving from the status of an authority with self-rule to the status of sovereignty," unquote.
Abbas has said that he's going to cancel talks with Israel, but Israel, quite frankly, is happy. They said, that they'll blame the Palestinians for not wanting to talk. And of course, as we see, they're constantly expanding the Jewish-only settlements. They're stealing land. They're taking over areas in Jerusalem, and of course now we're even talking about taking over more areas, and of course creating a situation which the Palestinians are basically unlivable, so the Palestinians will want to leave and leave Israel and the West Bank, but of course leave the land behind. So Israel's interested in the land, but without the people.
The Palestinians' anger is growing at the US and Israel over Washington's recognition of al-Quds as the Israeli regime's capital. By doing this, the US has severely tarnished its image. The US is almost alone in this regard, and it has been further diminished in the eyes of the world's Muslim nations that have already been skeptical of Washington's motives. Abbas has said the Palestinians no longer recognize the US as a peace broker. This comes as even before the Trump administration's move on al-Quds, many Palestinians did not recognize peace talks as the way forward vis-à-vis the Israeli regime. The US decision on the city, which houses the world's third holiest Islamic site, has been described as the final nail in the coffin of the so-called two-state solution, which is ostensibly supported by Washington.